Jimmy has discussed Iran's nuclear power, but what about Russia's power? And this is from Hala. Just today, Putin threatened any nation that interfered with their attack on Ukraine. He said there would be repercussions like they have never seen. He was referring to the nuclear bomb. What is your opinion concerning this threat? How good is their nuclear program, and is there a chance he could use it on the USA or the U.S. with China's help? What do you think about that, Mark?
Well, it's a real threat. They have more nuclear weapons than anybody in the world. Russia does. They have a lot more than we do. Now, again, how many do you need to blow up the world? But they have, their stockpile's massive. Would he do that? We don't know. Again, how far will Putin go? How crazy is he? And what is he? I don't think he's crazy in the sense of insane or something. But calculating, he's not going to be humiliated. Right. He's not going to be embarrassed. That happened in 1991. He's lived with that. He calls that the greatest geopolitical disaster of the 20th century. But the worst day of his life, he said, is when he's clearing out his papers in East Berlin and having to go back to Russia. It was humiliation. And so when he was a KGB agent. So he doesn't want that to happen again. And I think he'll do whatever he has to do. And right now, too, he's going to get backed more and more into a corner. There's going to be trouble at home. Their economy is going to begin to collapse. And the worst kind of a bear, is a bear that's been robbed of her cubs and then is cornered.
Right.
And once he's cornered like this, we don't know what he will do. And I think there's a lot of people who are asking that question. So, we don't know how far he'll go. We don't know if this is a bluff that he's making, but I think in his own mind, he would be willing to do it to save face and to not have his country go down and be humiliated.
I agree with that. This is from Michelle. It says, I am confused about something. I have heard about the great military might of Russia, yet he seems to be struggling. Is this because he hasn't fully lent his true military and capabilities on Ukraine? It seems to me that Israel could squish him, hands down. What do you think about that?
Well, there's military operations are notoriously difficult. You've got all these long supply lines and all. If Vladimir Putin wants to go in there and take Ukraine, he can take it. If he doesn't care what he does, bomb every city. He could take it quickly. I think they're wanting to preserve infrastructure and a lot of those things. They're hoping the people there will just surrender and give up. The problem for Israel's tiny. Israel obviously has nuclear weapons and all that, but Israel is as far as Jews living in Israel, it's 6 million people.
Right.
Russia has 1/8 of the landmass in the world. I was reading that recently. That's fascinating. They have 1/8 of the world's landmass in Russia. Israel's the size of New Jersey.
Yeah.
So you're talking about just an overwhelming force, really. Now Israel would have to use, in a war with someone like Russia, Israel would have to use nuclear weapons.
That's right.
To come out on top. They could defeat them in that way, but but Israel, one nuclear weapon in Israel and the country, the whole country's gone.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Whereas you hit Moscow or St. Petersburg, it's a huge, massive country.
This is Maggie. With Russia and China recently performing military drills together, North Korea having now missiles that can reach the U.S., and Iran in cahoots with them, could the U.S. be targeted for destruction? What do you think about that?
Well, I think that's what they all want. All of them want that, and I think a lot of them though are watching us kind of start collapsing from within.
Yeah,
we're so focused on climate change that we're really sabotaging our own economy, with oil and gas. I think a lot of these countries are sitting and watching what's happening to our country and kind of allowing us to fall on our own sword. I think there's probably a lot of that.
I heard someone say, and I really believe this is a very true observation, and that is we are so woke in our military. The present administration is so fixated, and that's just the truth, on making sure that the transgender is accepted into our military and all this kind of thing. And China is not woke. Russia is not woke. Iran is not woke. North Korea is not woke. They're not concerned about any of those politically correct issues. They're just building a military to destroy us. And so we are at such a disadvantage because of the weakness that we have shown the entire world. The withdrawal of Afghanistan, just on a tactical level, just showed how inept we have become. But this is something that's real troubling. is that the United States of America, we have the largest war machine in the world. But it's not the war machine that matters, it's the people behind that machine. And so, we are seeing the decline, and people ask, why isn't America in Bible prophecy? Or if we are, why are we not very pronounced? Well, obviously, we're not much of a factor at that point. Is that what you believe?
That's right. Yeah, I think we're going to be weak by that point. I mean, the word's used woke. I'd say we're woke and weak.
Woke and weak.
That's where we're getting. We're woke and weak. And my view is that the rapture will, and probably in convergence with other things, that are all these other things we see happening in our culture that are weakening us. Then you have the rapture on top of that,
Right.
where all the salt and light's taken out. Let's say 8% of the people in America are really believers. That's 30 million people.
That's right.
That are extracted. I mean, you talk about a drop on the Dow Jones the next day, and
That's right.
our military being everything sucked out of our country. It's we would become a third-rate nation overnight.
Yeah, that's right. I want to thank you for watching this Tipping Point clip, and I want you to subscribe to the channel. I want you, if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and click subscribe there. And thank you for watching and subscribing. I want you to join our Tipping Point community at endtimes.com. For $7 a month, you can subscribe, and you have a 7-day free trial. So if you just want to check it out for 7 days, go on endtimes.com, check us out for 7 days, but I can promise you, you're going to love the content. You're going to be getting the Tipping Point show, the full show, every single week, as well as articles and video content from great teachers like Greg Laurie and Mark Hitchcock, and of course myself. Be sure to subscribe to be notified when we release more videos like this. God bless you.